Hello and welcome. If you want to be in a space where you can explore beliefs and connect and strengthen spiritually, you're in the right place. Hi, I'm Jessica Loper, a spiritual mentor and intuitive guide, and all walks of life and faith backgrounds, or lack thereof, are welcome here. So regardless of where you're at on your journey, this is a place where you can explore without judgment. I'm not here to tell you what to think or do or what to believe. I'm going to give suggestions. I'm going to share with you my experience and what I've learned and know to be true for me. But the important thing is that you discover what's true for you. So you can learn, grow, and connect here and take what resonates. So with that being said, I'm going to use all sorts of tools and resources, things I've learned over the past many years. For myself, I grew up in a strict religious home and left religion, really started questioning religion in my teenage years and leaving it altogether in my early 20s. And just going on this journey of figuring out what I even believed in. And for a while that included just avoiding and not believing in anything at all, not even trying to connect with myself or source. Kind of just walking around clueless. And that's something that I needed to experience. So if you've been there, that's okay. It's okay. Sometimes you need to disconnect in order to have that desire to reconnect. And I think we all have times where we kind of have ups and downs. We have times where we turn away from ourselves and other times where we really want to connect and grow and learn and find something greater. So if you're here, you're probably someone who wants to be better for yourself and your family. You want to grow, you want to heal, you want to have a connection to a higher power, God, universe, source, Jesus, whatever it is for you, okay? And it can be whatever resonates for you. I'm not going to tell you what that needs to look like for you. For me, I had to go through the experience of getting sober to have that desire to reconnect with something greater than myself. But then also learning that the power is within me. Okay, looking at God as a different version of God than the God I was raised with. And if you feel drawn to religion, okay, it's not for me. But I really want this to be a space where you're okay either way. Like, no one can tell you what's best for you. I definitely think there are people where, in a sense, having some kind of religion maybe saved them or gave them lessons that they needed. Same with, if you feel drawn to the Bible or Jesus or not. Like, it's okay either way. I'm not going to tell you you need Jesus. That's for you to decide, okay? And I think people follow different paths. I will share and teach about Jesus from more of a ascended master example of Christ consciousness. Personally, the same with God, same thing as God. The version of Jesus I grew up with is different than the version of Jesus I connect with now. Sometimes you have to question things and redefine things and know that, like, not everything you were taught as a child or even as an adult too is always what's true and best for you. And it's okay to question things. It's okay. So for me, I've come to feel and believe that Jesus was the ultimate example of showing us the way to consciousness, to connecting to ourself. And so I will pull things from Bible teachings and values and principles as I see fit. And I also like to use tarot cards. So when I say all walks of life or backgrounds, like, I mean it, and you don't have to agree with all of them. I like divination tools. I think they're a great tool, but they're also a tool. And I did have to go through some experiences where I kind of learned that the hard way, like I was depending on it too much or using it the wrong way. So that's something I've been through and come back and reconnected, realizing like this is a tool. And you're going to see a lot of controversy around divination tools or the Bible or Christianity, because there is so much division, and I want this to be a space where we're not focusing on the division. We may mention it and acknowledge that it exists, but can we come together and allow people the space to explore either side or be somewhere in the middle and not shame them or tell them they're wrong because they don't see it the way we do? And coming back to divination tools, I really feel like divination tools, they're just a tool, right? So that could be anything that helps you connect to yourself or get an answer, like a card or runes, angel numbers, even like astrology, maybe even certain things from like a book or muscle testing or anything that's just helping you to connect, right? And you are going to have people and organizations that say, oh, that's evil. But I think what they don't realize is that's just an old pattern of conditioning, trying to keep the masses from connecting with themselves. Oh, these tools that help people connect to themselves, we'll just tell people they're evil and then they won't do it, and then they won't use those tools to connect to themselves. That's how you control people, right? So that's just my opinion and what I've come to realize over the years, because I have had times where I was like, am I wrong? You know, and it's okay to question things. And this was years ago, but I've just come to the realization that we each need to figure out what's true for us. And if there's someone who's truly not drawn to divination tools, that's okay too. Like, maybe they connect just being in nature. Maybe, you know, like, we're all drawn to different things and use different things, and that's okay. I'm not real big on just there being one way for everyone to find their truth, to connect to themselves, to live their truth. And this is about living authentically too, right? When you connect to your beliefs, which it's okay if they change and evolve, that's okay too. You start to live more as your true self. When you know what your values and beliefs are and start to make choices every day to live in alignment with those, to do the work, to heal, to grow, to connect, you're going to be better. And you're going to live, like, you're going to start to embody it. How many people learn things? They know all the things. They could tell you all the facts about everything, but they don't live it. They aren't walking the walk. They aren't talking the talk. This is a space for people who not only want to connect more spiritually and to live their truth, but they want to embody it, right? Like, you're living and breathing what you value and what's true for you and what you believe in. So, welcome. There's going to be a weekly devotional. So it's the Soulful Journey weekly devotional. At the time of this recording, I'm not sure if I'm going to do 52 weeks and then totally pivot and do some other series, or if it'll keep going. Like, I don't know that yet at the time of this recording. But it's timeless. So it doesn't matter when you join or when you start. You can start at week 1 and work through all of them. You can start on the most recent video and just wait for the next one, unless unless I end at 52, but hopefully you get what I'm saying. Or just go to the ones you feel led to. There's no wrong way to do it, right? You can go in order, you can bounce around, you can start with the newest one. You do what you feel led to do. If that's confusing and overwhelming to you to hear that, then just start at week 1. You'll be good. Okay. All right. So they're going to release every Sunday. You pick what day you want to do it. Maybe you like to connect and have that weekly devotion to yourself on Sunday. Or maybe you'd rather do it Monday or whatever day you feel led to. And that's okay too. This is going to give you a space to just commit to connecting with yourself and making it a habit, having different lessons and topics that can help you explore different beliefs and backgrounds, values. I'll explain and share a lot around things I've discovered and what's helped me. We'll talk about all the things related to spirituality and healing. If you have a question, you can comment, or if you have a topic idea. I am going to have a monthly Q&A, so if you join that, you can ask, or I'll go back to other comments if I don't have anyone live, especially as it's new and it's starting. I don't know how many I'll get live until this thing grows, and things may change down the road, but I'll use comments or even just pulling a card, giving a general collective reading. So I'll use cards. We'll talk about energy centers, chakra balancing, the Bible, principles. I think there's some good core principles there. We'll kind of talk about the just deconstruction of religion, just in a sense of like the conditioning and maybe things that have been misconstrued over time, like the patriarchy, controlling, using religion as a form of control. We'll kind of look at that. Daily practices, spiritual practices, grounding, meditation, activations, regulating your nervous system. I reference the Sophia Code a lot. The Book of Mary, the Lost Book of Mary, balancing the divine feminine and masculine. That's something I really feel called to share on. And we can get into all sorts of things, even if some of it may seem like conspiracy theory type stuff. I've gone down all those rabbit holes. I'll tell you what I really think. We'll look at things from a bird's eye view, especially when it comes to the division, right? Because I think that's where a lot of the healing in the world needs to happen, is closing this gap of like the polarity and the division, and looking at things from a greater picture as our planet moves into higher consciousness, being able to see how that applies to us, our own individual journey. So the individual journey and connection, but also being able to look at the bigger picture too. Because if you're here, you're someone who you don't just want to connect for yourself. You want healing for the world. Okay? You're someone that you don't just want good for you. You want good for all in general. But it starts with you. So you being here and committing to these weekly devotionals for however long it resonates. And if you feel like they're not for you and you go a different route, that's okay. You don't have to stay here. I want you to do what's good for you and go where you feel led. But maybe this is just a place where you can figure out what that even looks like, you know? And you're going to be someone who has a ripple effect. You healing and growing and connecting, you choosing you and living your truth has a ripple effect. It affects those around you. Some of you are going to be called to be teachers and healers and help others. Maybe it's motherhood, or the way you affect other children around you. If you're a teacher, have nieces, nephews, neighbors, grandkids, whoever, changing patterns, healing, and working on yourself affects those around you. Maybe you're breaking generational curses. Okay, so even that alone, even if you don't feel like you're showing up in a space to do healing work as like a volunteer thing or a business thing, like even the choices you make in your daily life that affect the generations after you is doing the work. Okay, so that's all I have as far as welcoming you and giving you this space to navigate belief systems and connect with self, live authentically, and strengthen your faith. Continuous, consistent strengthening of faith. Knowing that you're human and you're gonna mess up and you're okay. We're gonna go into all kinds of themes around valuing yourself, compassion for self, loving yourself where you're at, and you're okay right where you're at. You're good. You were born good. You are enough. So just commit to keeping moving forward. You got this. All right, take care, and we'll see you on the weekly devotional.